Howdy folks, nutnfancy again. In this review I'm going to be talking about how Cold Steel has screwed up their Voyager series knives. Going to reference the catalog again. Man, I like Cold Steel catalogs. They're fun to look at. You can say what you want about Lim Thompson, but man, he sure knows how to market knives. He knows how to talk them up, sell us on the features, get us excited about buying them. A few other makers do it quite as good as Cold Steel does. Some of what he says is true. Actually, I guess more than some. Maybe a lot of what he says is true. Anyways, Voyager series is what I'm going to refer to in this video. Specifically, out of this catalog at least, page 39, the large clip plain edge Voyager and the partially serrated medium clip Voyager by Cold Steel. Let's get started. We always run out of time. There's lots to talk about. First, I'm going to start out with my original Cold Steel plain edge Voyager. I really like this knife. It's an excellent knife for the money. Sadly, Cold Steel has really raised their prices over the past few years, so it's not the value it used to be. What's the category we're talking about? Remember, I'm always big on those categories. This is a lightweight tactical knife, or maybe a lightweight utility knife, if you will. I've had this one for about, I don't know, 5 years. I've used it a fair amount. Not totally hard use, but I have used it. Let's get started. How about, let's start with the opening on this knife. It's pretty darn smooth and fast. A little bit of thumb tension on that blade and out it comes. It's pretty smooth, well balanced, great deployment speed. I've got no issues with it. How's the lockup? Well, lockup's pretty good, at least when I first got it. However, remember, I always like to be truthful in my reviews. This is not a knife you want to abuse. Specifically, I have taken this knife and tried to build a shelter with it, chopped with it, and in doing so, my lockup, up and down, that's this way, has wiggle in it now. After I've done that chopping, it wore. So, this is not a hard duty knife. There's other designs that would probably fill it best. I wanted to see how it would stand up to it, and I got my answer. And the answer is you're going to ruin your lockup by chopping heavily with this knife. I know this is not the knife we want to do a lot of chopping with, but what if? What if this is all you got? You'd have to use it that way. Anyways, it's a good lockup as it comes. It's nice and tight. However, if you use it hard against limbs and stuff, anticipate you ruining the solid lockup on the Cold Steel Voyager. Sorry, but true. Blade shape, Bowie clip. What more can I say? I've spoken a lot about this in other videos. I like it. Nice sweep, good blade, tip is decent. Os 8 steel, which I've had good luck with. It's a medium grade, medium quality steel that I like. Have had no issues with it. It will rust on you. I find that in my Voyagers you do want to keep a nice light coat, maybe rim oil on there to prevent any rust. And as you can see, I'm pretty anal about that. This knife has actually seen a fair amount of use, but it shows no rust because I keep it oiled up a lot. You can see the pivots on there, how it's all worn. Now, so the blade is excellent, great shape, good steel, no issues with that. How about ergonomics? I would give the ergonomics maybe a B. Not too bad. I want some jimping up here. This jimping here is worthless, nor do you have any flared choils here to prevent your hands coming forward. So you might want to put that hand fat around the end of the knife to prevent it coming forward under hard use, especially if you're doing some plunge cuts or something like that. The pivot screw is not a pivot screw. It's a rivet. It's non-adjustable. For the price point that Cold Steel currently charges for their knives, that's a glaring omission if you ask me. It should be adjustable. I mean, heck, they're retailing the large clip now for 70 bucks. So, doggone it, put an adjustable clip on it, Cold Steel. Either that or reduce the price. The original reason they went with that rivet was to reduce the price. So they upped the price supposedly due to materials, and then they don't increase the quality, at least not on the pivot point. I do have a little bit of an issue with that. Nor can you take the knife apart. It's totally riveted together. I guess you could grind it apart and then fix a screw system up, but not so good. So back to ergonomics, pretty good. There's no really useful checkering though. That's a hit I'll give this entire design. Either on the top, on the bottom, and maybe on the side. They do have some, in this older Voyager, some kind of some checkering, some diamond checkering, token checkering if you will on the side, but it's not great. How about the clip? I do like the clip on this old Voyager. It's an integral molded clip on the back side. No, it's not as deep as I would like. I would like that opening all the way up here, so as you've seen in my other videos, we can really sink that knife down in the pocket. Good job on the smooth side. So like as I insert this clip into the pocket, it doesn't rip my pants up or whatever I'm sliding it onto. Okay, so this is the older Voyager, and it's not a flow-through design. It's just a standard lock-back design. So good deployment speed, great blade, good steel, okay lockup, okay ergonomics. So how, nutnfancy, did Cold Steel ruin it? Well, here you go. Here's my new Voyager. Yeah, I got two of them. For the price, I still like them. They screwed it up here in the clip. Some of you guys may dig the new clip on the Voyager. I think it sucks. Here's why. Let's look at the old Voyager, how it had the molded clip and the smooth side. Now what did Cold Steel do on the new ones? All their new Voyagers like this, they put a very rough diamond pattern on both sides of the knife. Great, I mean I don't have an issue with that, but for crying out loud, don't put it under the clip. Okay, because when you put that, and I'm speaking from experience, when you put that on your pocket, you will shred the material from your pocket. Been there, done it. Several of my pants show a lot of wear from this pattern, and it gets worse. I think this clip design that Cold Steel does blows. It's not a good clip design. If you look at the side profile of that clip design, you see that it is not flared up. It's kind of difficult actually to insert that in your pocket. You really got to get the fabric under that very narrow tip and somehow miraculously thread it under there and then shred your fabric while you're doing it due to the rough texture on the handle. Now this is where the medium clip, the other one I have, comes into play. Now on this one you can see that I've reprofiled that clip. I took it off and ground it. By the way, it's pretty hard steel. I was amazed how hard steel that was. But I ground and reprofiled that clip and then sand it with 400 grit sandpaper, so that's a much more functional design. You can see how I have a nice lip on that and it can slide over your fabric a lot easier. So there's the original. I hope you can see this. My cheesy camera may not film it that great, but you can see the new one, the reprofiled one, the old one in the background. So that's what they did wrong, is they changed the clip design. A lot of guys will say, hey, that's great, man, I got a metal clip, that's awesome. Well, kind of, if you do it right. They didn't do it right. Subsequently, this is probably the last Voyager I'll ever buy until they fix this clip. And it's mounted too low on the handle, way down low. So if you look at the attachment point, I guess it's about the same as the old one as far as depth of ride. But for crying out loud, dudes, reprofile that clip, make it bigger. I do like how it's blackened, I like how it's removable, that's no problem, but make it smooth. This whole portion here should have no checkering. If you look at some of the other tactical knives I reviewed, you see that they do not put a traction material under the clip. Look at Kershaw Blurs, they figured it out. It rips your fabric up, and you don't need it for retention purposes. A properly constructed clip will have enough force, i.e. friction, to stay in your pocket without resorting to anything under the clip, traction-wise. Otherwise, the new Voyager is identical to the other one, except for some few minor changes. You can see how there's a difference in the handles here. It's flared out here. I actually like this. Is the old one on the right, new Voyager on the left. I like this flare out right here. A little bit more ergonomic for my hand. Minor though. Still has useless jimping or traction, measures on the top of the handle. So that's the issue I have with the new Voyagers. So in summary, as usual, running out of time, talking about the Voyager, I will give it great, not great, but good steel, good blade shape, nice speed, and I didn't talk about the weight. The weight is amazing, 1.8 ounces. It definitely is a carryable knife. It's a big blade for the weight that you do have, so those are big pluses for Cold Steel. Good job for that. There's few other knives, maybe the Benchmade Ascent goes into that category, but fix that clip, Cold Steel, and good lockup like I talked about. So overall, an excellent knife. It would be a great knife if they would fix the clip. Nut and Fancy out. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.